Hello, guys. Welcome to Daddy and the Don. We've got Max again here with us. Obviously, I'm Daddy. He's not the Don, but we all know him. He's Max, Chelsea boy. We're here just for a quick one, really, just to go through the Premier League predictions for the week, as we weren't part of the original Prem predictions video that you probably all saw. So we're going to keep it quite brief, roll through the games. Guys in the chat, just let us know what you think as well. Let us know what your score predictions are. We'll try and read those all out. So, first of all, welcome on, Max. How are we going?
Yeah, good. I thought I was demoted from the predictions group. I was very upset, but then when you invited me to come in here, sort of like a promotion. So yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, no, we had to save all the best promotions for the live video, didn't we? Couldn't waste it all in that pre-recorded one. So, obviously, we'll try and keep it. We've got one comment we'll go through. So, the main man, Don Jones, on holiday on his blow-up whale, as per usual. So, he said, go smash it, lads. So, sure, he'll moan at everything that we go for as well. He'll have a different opinion, so that we're all wrong. So, we'll start off from the beginning. So, this one's kicking off in a short while. So, Spurs v Wolves. I'll give you the honours on this one. You can kick off. What do you reckon is going to happen in this one? Quick score prediction.
I'm thinking I'm going to go for a 3-0 Spurs win. What I've seen of Wolves, the start of the season has been positive. Arguably should have been 2 losses from 2 if Mitrovic would have scored the penalty. But I know Spurs are poor against us. I can see them going back to winning ways, especially at home. I expect to see more from Song. He's had a pretty quiet start to the season. But I'm going to go for a 3-0 win. I think Kane's going to bag a double, and I think Song's going to go and get the third. So 3-0 for me, mate.
3-0, yeah. Okay. So, yep. I sort of agree with you with how one-sided this game's going to be.
Yep.
I've actually gone for a 2-0. I think it's more and more. I can't see Wolves scoring. I think they're really going to go backwards this year. I think they've probably gone backwards the last 3 years, haven't they, season on season? Bruno Lage looked like he was doing well first part of last year. And
just
went down there a little bit. Lost too many players. So, yeah, I think it's just a natural decline here. And Spurs didn't play well against you, but they're on the up. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 Spurs win on this one. See if we've got any comments. We've got, here we go. Look. On time. Wow. Yeah, we're not like you, Graham. We're on time to things. So here's gone for Spurs 3-1. 3-1 for the Don.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
Mark Hill's copied me with 2-0. Favourite backing, no imagination for the narrative twins. Yeah, we just copied you, Graham. We just copied what you did. We saw your prediction on there and we went with it.
Phil, just quickly, before we go to the next game, Graham, please tell me how you think Wolves got any chance in this game. What you've seen of Wolves so far. And I'll honestly agree with you if you come up with something positive with that.
Well, he said 3-1 to Spurs and then said that we've got no imagination. He's just basically said the same thing as us, isn't he? So I think he's still on Free Willy, isn't he, riding around that swimming pool?
Yeah, on the Brentford massive whale, yeah. Can't get on that whale, can he?
I'm surprised it won a red and white one. So right, so we've both gone for Spurs win there. So here we go. Game of the week, Palace Villa. Again, get my bias out of the way. I'll let you start this one so the fans can hear a genuine prediction.
No, to be honest with you, mate, I'm going for a 1-0 Palace win. I want to make a quick point on Aston Villa. I don't think Stevie Gerrard has improved Aston Villa. Now, people go, well, you're saying he's much better than Dean Smith. But has he improved them? He's bought Coutinho, and other than a few games, he looks awful. Arguably, they were 2-0 up against Everton, and they could have thrown it away in the last 5 minutes. I don't rate Villa at all. I've not been impressed with Steven Gerrard's managerial stuff at Villa. You haven't started the season as good, but I've just got that feeling today you're going to nick a 1-0 win. Zaha 1-0. I've just got that feeling today. Good result against Liverpool. Determined. You look solid at the back. I think you're going to nick this 1-0, Phil.
Do you think with the Gerrard thing, when he joined, it was just that new manager syndrome thing and because of who he was, like, as in the legendary ex-player? A bit like how Lampard had a good start at Chelsea. Do you think his reputation just carried him a little bit there and now he's finding it a bit tough to be a Premiership manager?
Well, listen, he done well at Rangers, but who Rangers competing against? One team. You know, I get. She said the hype of being a former manager, but what I don't get with the whole thing is like no one mentions Steven Gerrard under pressure. I get the Lampard pressure. And it's constant. Every chat you have is Lampard this, Lampard that, and Lampard's under pressure. And I get it. But why is Gerrard not under pressure? I don't get it. I just don't get it. Because Dean Smith, arguably, I don't think he's gone forward. I think they've gone backwards with Gerrard. But again, the comments might say different. And I look forward to seeing what they've got to say about it. But I'm going for a 1-0 Palace win here, mate.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know if it's just the pessimist in me. I've gone for a 1-0 with this one. So I've gone 1-0 draw. I can see it being one of those games where we just throw it away. I can see it sort of like having chance after chance. Eze's missed a hatful of chances 1-on-1, and Zaha missed enough chances to win 3 games the other night against Liverpool. So
mate.
I can see it being a game of wasted chances. Maybe Villa take theirs. We squander a couple, ends up 1-0. So here we go. This is the bone of a great game of the weekend on this channel. All the chat's going to be about this one.
Wow.
So I got a couple of comments in there. So Mark Hill's gone for a 2-2 draw, and Don has favourite backed with Villa 1-0 there. Gone with a big team.
No imagination.
Yeah.
Oh, Graham agrees with me. Yes.
What was he agreeing about though? You went 1-0 Palace.
I think maybe Steven Gerrard. I don't think we've had a conversation before about this, so maybe.
Probably was talking about that when he. So anyway, going back to the main game of the week. So Fulham Brentford. What are your thoughts on this one? Bit of beef behind this.
Do you know what? It's just like I wish I had my little wooden spoon to start stirring it up. I mean, I've had more lip from Fulham fans in the off-season than Brentford fans, and I didn't know how hatred this rivalry is. I know it's a London derby. I get it. All London derbies can be hatred or whatever, but they really don't like each other. Now, Fulham, two draws, 2 games, played well against Liverpool. Mitrovic should have scored the penalty. Should really be on 4 points. Brentford, on the other hand, 4 points. Absolutely blew United. We've been so impressed with them. But being a London derby, I can't split them. I just can't split them. I'm going to have to go down the middle with a 1-1 draw. I think it's going to be a really edgy game, tight game, scruff game. Could be a sending off in this one. I just can't split them. I really can't. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to be a bit boring and go 1-0 because if it was 2-1 Fulham, 2-1 Brentford either way, I can see that. But honestly, if you ask me right now, it's 1-0 Fulham, 1-0 Fulham Brentford, and I can't split them, mate. And hopefully you can split them because I'll listen to your opinions right now because I just can't.
Who's gonna score for him? Do you reckon? Do you reckon Mitrovic will get one this week?
I think I'm gonna go boring here. Yeah, I'm gonna go Mitrovic and Tony. I'm gonna be boring. I'm gonna get Graham Court's favourite back in goal scorer, boring 1-1 draw, Mitrovic and Tony. I think Brentford will take the lead. I think it'll be 1-0 Brentford and Fulham come back in the second half, draw 1-0.
Palace are favourites. Obviously, he's been checking the odds first before he picks which one to go for. We don't check the odds. We just pick who we want, Graham.
Yeah,
so Laura Waller, Laura, come on, you bees. Graham, Gerrard, he agrees with. And look, down the middle, Mia. Oh no, it's down the middle, Jones, 1-1. So he's copycat cunted you there, Max. So again, I've gone with a draw as well. I'm going to go 2-2. Again, if either team wins 2-1, I wouldn't be surprised, and I'd probably edge towards Brentford if they were going to pick a winner because they've had a good record at Craven Cottage. But it's the Premiership, isn't it? So they haven't played in the Prem. So this could be the edgy part of it, which might make it be a draw.
I just don't think you can split them, Phil. I just don't think you can split them at the moment. I mean, Brentford arguably are coming on better form. Maybe if Brentford at home, I probably would have sided with Brentford more, but I just can't split them. I think it's going to be, honestly, it's going to be one of those just tight London derby games. Grinder. I think 1-0's a perfect scoreline. I think it's going to be 1-0.
Yeah, I think it'd be the atmosphere of the game would be the main thing rather than the goals. It'd be a bit of a feisty game. I think.
100%.
Laura Waller, someone's been copycat cunting. Ella, 2-0 Brentford, and Fulham are shit. That's probably nothing. Mark Hill. If Mark Hill's on there, he could have an opinion on that, but probably heard worse, isn't he? There we go. This game. Not too sure what to make of this one, really, because like Forest have got points on the board now. Everton have been lacklustre, but you'd think Everton were the favourites in this one. Would you agree?
Are we doing my scoreline first? My prediction first?
Yeah, you go first, mate. You keep going first.
I'm going to go for I've gone for a 1-0 Everton win. Forest were impressive against West Ham, but you've got to remember West Ham missed a penalty. I think Ben Rama at the bar. and maybe at the post as well. Somebody else in the post. Forest rode their luck a little bit. Granted, it's Premiership. You need all the luck you can get. And I just feel because they've been buying about 100 players this year, it's going to take time for them to gel. And I really believe Forest are going to become a really, really difficult team to beat at their gaff. But away from home, I think they're going to struggle. Now, the opposite side, Lampard, he's under massive pressure. I think the Everton fans are having problems with the boards. But these are the sort of games where everyone going to win a game at some point. They're not going to win a game. This is the sort of game where I feel it's going to be like similar to what we said about the Palace Aston Villa game. I just think everyone are going to nick a 1-0. I just think it's going to be a really, really scrappy game. Everyone get a late one, win 1-0. Fans go home happy, and Forest go on to live another day, I suppose. So, yeah, I think 1-0 Everton for me, mate.
I think this is going to be a really bad game to watch. I think it's going to be a lot of tension on this game. So Forest are just desperate for any points they can get their hands on. Lampard is really under pressure, and I think you can see in his interviews it's telling on him as well. Like, it was having to bat off a lot of Dele Alli questions at the press conference yesterday, and I think he handled himself quite well in those press conferences. But it all takes its toll on you, doesn't it, when you're trying to prepare for a game? And I think that pressure would tell in this game, and I can just see it being a really shit house, 0-0, nothing really happening. But obviously, if I'd have a bet and back one team, I would go for Everton, but I can just see this one being 0-0, sorry. So we'll rattle through a couple of predictions. So Mark Hill's gone 1-0.
That's fair enough.
Graham's gone 2-1 Everton. His new boyfriend, Carl, at KB Sports there. So anyone that doesn't know Carl, he does a lot of Arsenal-related football stuff and a lot of NFL bits and pieces. I think he's a Patriots fan, so head on over there. That's his channel there. So KB Sports, big up Carl. And there it is, that big up my boyfriend. Carl, what's your Fulham Brentford prediction? Find out in a minute. So I think that might be our only difference on that one so far, isn't it, Max? I think we've gone the same.
George, to be fair, if it finishes 0-0, I would probably say, yeah, that's fair enough. I could just see Everton just grinding out. As you said, it's not going to be the best of games. But I could just see Everton nicking it. I could just see it nicking it. I don't know who's going to score it. Might be an own goal, but they're going to nick it somehow. And I could just feel it.
Yeah, so we go to another underwhelming game, I'd say, maybe here, Leicester-Southampton. I found both of these teams are really hard to work out where they are this season. Because obviously Leicester are in that bit of trouble with all their players wanting to leave. Southampton, we were worried about. Obviously, they got spanked first game of the season, but obviously looked a little bit better. Second game in, good comeback, won it against Leeds. So got players in, but I think you've got to give them 4 or 5 games to see where they're at, really. It's hard to actually make that prediction now. So can you split these two, or are you going to go for another draw?
Yeah, I've gone for a 2-1 Leicester win. I was very impressed with Southampton's second half comeback last week against Leeds. Again, I've seen the highlights, but listening to the commentary, who's doing on the Sky Sports, the news jealous on Saturday. They were pounding them second half. You know, they were 2-0 down, and they come back to 2, and they arguably had chances to win the game. So I think it's just finding that balance for Southampton. Now, yes, they're still going to be in massive trouble this year. I still classify them as relegation favourites for me. But it was a great spirited point. Flip side, Leicester threw it away against Brentford. They played well at times against Arsenal, but they weren't really in the game. As soon as they scored, Arsenal went down and scored, spoke twice. I wouldn't be surprised people in this group chat are going to say a draw, but I could just see Leicester nicking it 2-1. It's not the best of games. Most of these games this week aren't that great, but I'm going to go for a Leicester 2-1 win. Again, it's going to be a bit edgy, but I think Leicester need this win more than Southampton do. And definitely Brendan Rodgers needs, because he's under a lot of pressure. So yeah, 2-1 Leicester for me, mate.
Yeah, I've gone 2-0 Leicester, because I can see them scoring goals. You look, both games they've scored 2 goals, haven't they? So I think scoring goals isn't a problem for them. Obviously, keeping clean sheets is another thing. But Southampton, I think, still they're very James Ward-Prowse dependent as well. I think if you don't give them any free kicks, set pieces for him to exploit, I think you can keep them quiet. If you just keep the ball, control them, I think they're a controllable team. And I see if Leicester get in front first, I can see it going 2-0 and then just being able to see the game out. So see what the guys are saying in the chat. So So KB Sports, I think Carl went 1-0. I think that was for the Fulham game that Graham asked him earlier.
Oh, okay.
Mark Hill's gone 3-0 Leicester, so he's gone for a wide win there. Don's gone 2-1, and that was for Southampton.
Wow. Okay.
So Southampton showed some bottle coming back against Leeds. I'm going 1-0.
Yeah.
I can see it being a draw as well. It's got all three results could really happen with this game because we haven't had enough.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Where they're at, are they? Favourite back in
absolutely.
Max, favourite back
Come on,
in
bro.
Phil. Okay, we'll clip this when it's wrong. We'll play this up on the prediction video.
Come on.
When Graham got it wrong again. Here we go. Let's let him get in the chat here. It's going to be some moisture in the chat now. So come on in, guys. Arsenal fans, get your comments in. Give you 30 seconds to break the chat. So Bournemouth v Arsenal. Right, for me, it's one way. It's probably going to be the banquet of the week for me. So I'll go first this time. I'm actually going for a 3-0 Arsenal win. And I can't see Bournemouth even putting them under pressure. I think the way Arsenal have started both the games this season, like obviously I watched the whole game against us, and I was really impressed with their first 15 minutes. That's as hot out of the traps I've ever seen Arsenal under Arteta.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he's such a good defensive coach as well, I think once they get a lead of like 2 goals, they're very hard to then pin back. So I think it will just open the floodgates, and I'll say 3-0. It could end up being higher than that, but I think he likes to just sit back and protect what he's got more than anything. So I think once he gets to 2-3-0, he'll just shut up shop and go for the clean sheet.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a 3-1. That was my prediction. Start with 3-1.
Okay.
Pretty similar to what you said. I think going to be a lot of Arsenal on the front foot. And I said in one of my videos, I was really impressed in the first 15, 20 minutes what they showed against you, just how quick they were passing the ball, pressing. Again, I don't expect Bournemouth to cause them too many problems. If anything, it'll probably be a Bournemouth late consolation goal. But I fully expect Arsenal to be in the front foot and control this game constantly. Yeah, so my prediction is 3-1 Arsenal.
Mark Hill's gone 2-1 Arsenal. I think that's a bit closer than most people have it.
Yeah.
The favourite back in Jones has gone 3-0.
There he is.
The Arsenal, there he is. Saka double and Jesus again.
No.
I'll tell you what, Graham, if that finishes 3-0 with Saka scoring both and Jesus getting one, I'll do the next one with my bowl of cornflakes and with boxers. And Graham, if it's wrong, he's got to do something. So this is a game where the upset could happen. No chance. Saturday night under the light of Bournemouth, we get out of there with a 2-1 win. No, I get where you're coming from, Carl, but I just think Arsenal started the season really well. That Bournemouth squad, yeah, they've all been together from the Championship, but even with the Forest whole reshuffle, I still think that squad's potentially one of the weakest ones in the league. And I can just see once that front four of Arsenal gets at it, I just think it's there to be exploited. Finished the season quite bad. Well, didn't they?
Phil, what do you think of obviously Bournemouth they've just played Man City away. Obviously, that's going to take quite a lot out of them on full 90 minutes and coming up against Arsenal. I think that's going to be real tough for them to transition from. I know it's weak and they're professional footballers, but that's mentally tough. That's mentally tough to be dominated off the park by Man City to then go and play Arsenal at home. It's a tough one.
Also, you think conceding like 75% plus possession, that means you're running around chasing the ball for 65, 70 minutes of a game. That's quite tiring to do. When you've got the ball, football's easy. When you're chasing the game, that's when you get tired. That's when you get leggy, and they did a lot of that at the weekend. So probably be quite tight, and that'd be a perfect chance for Arsenal to get in there with the early start. I think. Yeah. There we go. The pitch is smaller than my living room. That is a fair point. And here's another fair point. Parker is useless. Not got good Premiership pedigree, is he?
Can I just say, I think I'm the only one that actually gives Parker a bit of respect. I mean, I know a lot of fans hate him, i.e. Fulham fans, but he keeps getting teams. I know he's saying he might be a Premiership manager, but he keeps getting teams promoted from the Championship. Again, I know it's a different kettle of fish in the Premiership, and Mark Hill's spread out. Chris, what are you saying? But I don't know. I kind of like the guy. I think he's going to keep Bournemouth up this year. I think he's going to keep him up. There you go. That's something for you to click on me and meme me at the end of the season if you want. See when Bournemouth come last and whatever. But I don't know.
Did you not just find he was trying to like audition for a part in like the Hardy Boys or Peaky Blinders when he had that lucky jacket and that they were like, what was it he was wearing it for? Oh, we didn't get bum raped this week, so I'm wearing the lucky jacket.
Well, I don't know. Do you mean for me? He keeps getting teams up, and to be fair to you, I didn't rate Bournemouth going up at all last year. I don't rate their squad, but you know they've won the first game of the season against Villa, didn't they? So you know, and they've gone to play Man City, who they expected to lose against, and they've got to play against Arsenal, who they expected to lose against. So arguably, they're still on track for what they want to achieve. So yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing the next few weeks for Bournemouth. I'll happily change my mind if I don't see any progress, but I'm interested to see how they get on this year with Parker.
I think this game will tell you a bit more because obviously City, it could be 2-0, it could be 8-0. It wouldn't have made a difference to what you think of Bournemouth, so to speak.
Agreed.
So if they keep this game close, if they lose only 2-1 and they give them a game, you think, okay, they can probably handle all the mid-table teams. So if they get beat 5-0 in this game, you start to worry for them because that's obviously like takes out like the whole of the top 6 then, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, again, if they've played they're going to be playing 2 of the top 6 after tonight. So, you know, they've still got to play some, I'll say, gettable wins. They've beaten Aston Villa, who people argue at the start of the season would have said Villa would have won. So, yeah, I'm interested to see. Again, this is sort of like a free hit. Do you know what, Phil? I just want to touch upon something quickly. If you ever watched the Ben Foster podcast stuff, he actually went, when he played for Watford last year and he played Man City, he goes, if you lose 4-0 to him, it's not actually a bad thing because you're expected to get hammered. So the realisation is, yes, we're not going to go there with anything and we're not going to get anything. So, listen, at the end of the day, they're expected to lose against Man City, which they didn't. They're expected to lose tonight, which I'm sure they will too, but we'll have to wait and see.
There we go, a bit of leaked footage here. Graham said to me that Bournemouth have the best team on paper out of the 3 teams that came up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll probably say Fulham. I mean, Forest have changed their team, so you can't really coat Forest because they've bought 100 new players in. So it's only between Bournemouth and Fulham, and arguably you probably say Fulham have probably got a stronger team. But there's some good Bournemouth players in there. But yeah,
he's trying to say based on the Championship, though, I think there. So he's saying that Bournemouth's team were better than Fulham's team last year, maybe. Is that what he means?
Nah.
Forest. Before the transfer window, not now. I
still say Fulham's.
If you were going to be taking over a club or buying a club, you'd have took Fulham, wouldn't you? You'd have took that.
Yeah, you would have done. Yeah.
So where are we up to now? So this is here we go. Sunday games now. So got your shirt on. So think you'll be waving that badge around come Sunday afternoon?
Yeah. No, I'm not swaying from my scoreline, which is spoken in our video in the week. I'm going for a 3-0 Chelsea win. Again, I'm hoping that we still taking off where we obviously didn't finish against Spurs, but how we played against Spurs. I didn't see what I saw from Leeds, especially with the finishing against Southampton. If Southampton can exploit that, I'm sure we can too. And I don't see Leeds posing a threat too. Again, the chat might disagree. I'm sure a lot of people say they're going to nick a goal. But I'm going to go for a comfortable 3-0 win. I'm going to see, similar to the Arsenal-Bournemouth game for me, mate, we're going to be on the front foot. We're going to be pushing a lot. We have loads of chances. I expect Raheem Sterling to score his debut goal for us this week. And yeah, it's going to be an easy day for us. So I'm going to go for a 3-0 Chelsea win.
I've got a theory for this game. I think you're going to dominate them. If it was a boxing match, it'd be stopped at half time. But just looking at your game against Spurs, even though you was on top, it was your 2 defenders that scored. So I think you're going to dominate the game. But I think it's going to be similar to the Everton game, where I think you'll score early enough that then you won't have to take any more risk. You'll just be happy to give the ball to Leeds and say, see what you can do, and you'll just hold on to that clean sheet, which is what you do quite often away from home. You play that way. So I can see this being a 1-0, but just keeping Leeds at arm's length the whole of the second half and not having to go out and take a risk. Like what happened with Spurs, you were probably going to see that game out 1-0, then once the equaliser came in, you went up and scored another goal, didn't you? So I think if that goal hadn't gone in, you'd have seen that game out 1-0, and I think you see this game out 1-0 as well.
That's fair enough. I'll take the 3 points, regardless 1-0, 5-4. I'll take it. Yeah. I'll take it.
Like Mourinho, he was the master of that, wasn't he? Just winning by getting the goal and keeping the.
Yeah.
It's like, so 2-0 Chelsea. Carl says Don has gone 2-1 Chelsea, own goal and a Jorginho penalty. Isn't that just following the narrative though, Chris? If he goes for that, that's just what you expect to happen, isn't it? Yeah.
So that's the most obvious scoreline to back.
And the most obvious way to score as well. So Mark Hill's gone 3-2 Chelsea. That'd be an entertaining one if that happens. Can't see it. Leeds are decent.
No.
Chelsea to come from behind. There we go.
No way. No.
I think the Don has to the Don has to do a forfeit if Leeds don't score in this one, I think.
Yes, agreed.
If Leeds don't
I think
score,
the Chad do that.
He has to do the next live with that blow up whale that he had on his holiday as his special guest.
You speak more sense than Graham.
Right. Not many to go now. There's another one. I just it doesn't appeal to me. From what I've Brighton, everyone's sort of jumped on their bandwagon a little bit, but obviously when you sort of look at it, they beat a really bad United team 2-1, and that was looked upon as a great result on that first game. I think they've lost a lot of players, and they haven't really got enough in to replace what they've lost. So for me, I think the way Brentford went and dominated United afterwards showed that maybe it wasn't such a great win on Brighton, because Brentford just absolutely pummeled them, where even in the Brighton game, Man United had some chances to get back into that game, as dog shit as they were playing. And then West Ham as well, like obviously losing to City, you know they're going to lose that game, but obviously then following that up with the Notts Forest game. So this is a game where West Ham could win it, but Brighton are going to be expected to do something just because of the way they've started. But for me, I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw on this one. I think Brighton will take the lead early, and they'll do what Brighton normally do, concede a goal in the last 15 minutes.
I'm going to be going something different to you, but I'm going to go for a 1-0 West Ham win. I saw positive signs for West Ham going forward against Forest, and arguably they missed a penalty. It was the free kick at the bar again. I said the post as well, and they look pretty decent going forward. My only concern for West Ham is Antonio's not really doing it. So he's this new guy. I can't pronounce his name, so I'm going to butcher it up. Will Moyes give him the start? Well, could that be the difference? Flip side, I heard what you said about the Brighton thing, but you got to remember Brighton played at Old Trafford, where Brentford were at home. Still both great results, but going to Old Trafford's tough. It don't care if you're Man City, Chelsea, Brighton, Brentford. It doesn't matter. You've gone to Old Trafford to win. So we'll give him credit there. Again, I know a few kind of people in the chat don't like Graham Poor. I think he's a fantastic manager. They're losing players, and he still keeps the team competitive. But I could just see West Ham haven't won this season. And it's the way the Premiership works. Just my logic of thinking, I'm going to go for a West Ham 1-0 win. It's going to be maybe even a penalty for Declan Rice, even though he missed one against Forest. Maybe some time to redeem himself. But again, Phil, as you said, it's not a great game. I'm glad it's not on Sky, because who would want to watch that? Awful. West Ham 1-0 for me, and I can't really say more on the subject. If it was 0-0, I wouldn't be surprised, but got to take a little bit of a risk here. 1-0 West Ham.
Do you think he's a good penalty taker, Declan Rice? I never had his card marked as a penalty taker. Is that just because he's captain now? He's taking them, or?
Well, I don't get why Jorginho takes penalties for Chelsea. They're clearly doing something in training, which they like. I mean, what was the old rule that you used to have a striker take your penalties? Because arguably your striker's your best finisher, isn't he? So, again, it's probably something they worked on in training. The penalty was naff, and it arguably cost them. But yeah, again, that's probably what can separate the teams. Maybe a penalty or the new guy.
I can't remember him being high up the order. You know, like whenever there's been like a penalty shootout when he's been in England, I can't remember him being like high up in the mix.
No, I
might
don't
well
think
have done,
he's.
But I just can't. Yeah, I can't just remember him being
Was
in
he?
the
He
early.
wasn't. He was in the Euro. He was in the Euro squad, but I don't. He wasn't part of the 5 or 6 penalty takers, was he? He wasn't. He wasn't. No,
Did
he
he
wasn't.
come off by then though?
Oh, did he come off?
He might have come off because it was 120 minutes, wasn't it? But
Yeah,
I,
because they brought Rashford on, didn't they?
yeah, I just can't remember seeing him in a penalty shootout where he's been like one of the first 3 takers.
No, but I've just seen from last season as you have, or Declan Rice is stepping up when you probably rather have Ben Rama or Antonio.
Yeah,
Or maybe all Bowen.
Yeah, so we've got Markel's gone 2-1 Brighton.
That's fair enough.
Graham done low. 3-0 West Ham Banquet of the weekend low.
Okay. Well, of course, you got like Graham Potter, which.
Brighton is shit. There you go. 1-0. Neither team can score, to be honest. Spot on Phil. What was I spot on about? About Brighton overhyped. Oh, there you go. Why didn't Ben Rama take it yet? Bowen should be taking pens. The baller.
I don't disagree with that at all. Yeah.
Was it Man United they were playing when Noble got subbed on just to take a penalty and he ran all the way up
and
there?
He
missed it. And they did a heat map of it as well, didn't they? Like taking the piss, you know, on where you could see like where his heat map was for the game. Just it'd been on the bench, little footprints.
That was last kick of the game, Phil. He was last kick of the game. I think it was 1-0 at the time. And then I think there might have been an injury or something. He comes on, and then penalty was awful. Yeah, De Gea easy save. Went to De Gea's left, I think it was. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
so got a mixed bag on that game, and this one's an interesting one for me because City haven't had their way in this fixture. I think maybe out of their last 5 visits, I think they've been beaten twice there, and I think one year it was 1-0. They lost it. The year Liverpool won the title, that could have technically been the game that cost them the title because it was in about February, March time. And I think Aguero had chance after chance. Newcastle scored quite early and they just kept that 1-0 lead all the way through. And I can't remember the result the other time they lost there, but or they might have drawn there 1-0. But it's been quite a bad hunting ground for them in recent years. So I can't see it being this time. I think City are that dominant at the moment. I can't see many teams being able to stop them winning at the moment, especially how sluggish some of the other teams have started. Might be interesting because Arsenal have got quite good fixtures coming up. I know like Man United was looked upon as a bit of a toughie, but if Arsenal carry on rolling with the points and United carry on struggling, they should win that one and then potentially they're 6 from 6. When they come to meet City later in, confidence is a massive thing. If you're winning, doesn't matter who you're playing against, you just take that confidence in, didn't you? And you can get a result. And obviously, I know they made a big drama about it on New Year's Day last season. Like they went toe to toe with City in that New Year's Day fixture, and then just capitulated in the second half with a red card. So, being a bit better, but I think City are a bit better than they were then as well, because that was just before they came on their comeback, wasn't it? Because they had they weren't playing great, were they, from that last part of the season? So be interesting, but I'm just going to go with a 2-0 City win. I don't think they're going to blow the doors off of it. I think they're just going to get a standard win, probably go 1-0 up maybe just before half time and then just seal it on about 60 minutes. I think Newcastle will be in the game. They'll have their chances, but 2-0 City is my one.
I'm going to go for a 3-0 City win. I think City are going to humble Newcastle. I get the hype saying they're playing good football, this and that. I'm not an Eddie Howe fan. I'm not being biased because I don't like Eddie Howe. It's Man City. Look, Newcastle have improved lately. They've got new owners. They've bought some good players. It's really strengthened them. But it's Man City. I can't see anyone at the moment beating City. I think it's going to be comfortable for him. I think a 3-0 win. I think Haaland's going to get a double. I'm going to go for Mahrez to go and get the third. Look, Newcastle may have the chances, but arguably going to be sitting back most of the game. I just can't see it any more than a 3-0 City, at least a 3-0 City win. People might say that's a bit harsh because Newcastle have been playing well. But again, it's Man City and Newcastle need to be humbled a little bit, if I'm honest, because they're getting a bit cocky. So
I think
3-0 City for me.
People were expecting more marquee signings, weren't they? They was expecting
yes.
a lot of cash to be splashed, but they've sort of done about it as if they just want to be a top 10 team to start off with, and then they're going to see where it goes. Because the thing that's worrying for me, they've just brought Bruno Guimaraes, and there's already talk that Real Madrid want to buy him. So you're not going to grow as a club if you're buying a player 6 months later, you're selling him on to an even bigger team. It's going to slow down your growth, isn't it?
Well, I thought that I think it's the right thing to do because there's no point going. Obviously, people like I think the Newcastle fans, especially, we're going to go, oh, we're getting this, we're getting that. And I think at some point they were linked with Haaland towards in the end of last year. Bale was going to come in and ask a free transfer, but there was loads of names.
Yeah, it was like people like Mbappe were being mentioned. You just think, why is he going to go there?
Yeah, there was one.
Yeah, why would he go there?
I think if this is the way the owners want to do business, I think they're going to do it right. I think they're just slowly upgrading as they go along. So I'm not going to slay them off. Like, fair enough. I just think that's getting a bit too big for their boots, and this is going to really humble them. I think City 3-0 at least.
Yeah, because you run the risk, didn't you? If you buy too many players, they're just going to be the mercenary players that are just there for the paycheck, like the Paul Pogbas of this world. You're not going to buy players that are going to get you 3 points. Right. So Mark Hill 3-1 Man City, Graham Jones 4-1 City, KB Sports 2-0 City, Foden, Diaz, Grealish, Haaland. There you go.
Well, if Grealish starts, Graham, fantasy, mate, he's ruining our fantasy. He's ruining it for us.
Oh, there you go. Look, Phil Ty. Like, can you remember before when he said he wanted to have a fight with Ty from Arsenal Fan TV?
Yeah, because
like one, he wanted to have that celebrity. Not, do you reckon Graham could take him?
Nah, Ty will kill him.
Yeah. Got a few more viewers now, so might be able to make it. Might be able to make that happen. We only had about 80 subs at the time, so it flopped, didn't it? Get that super bantamweight. So taking us on, here we go. Comedy Hour has rolled into Old Trafford. So United and Liverpool. Liverpool very sloppy. They're going to want to get points. Man United have been atrocious. I can see this being a pantsing, but I've actually gone a bit more conservative because of the rivalry. I've gone for a 2-1 Liverpool. I think United. I think everyone's going to say 3 or 4-0. Follow on from what happened, but I think Eric Ten Hag. I don't know what sort of manager he is, but I think he's probably given them he cancelled their day off, made them run around and do army drills in the heat. So I don't think he's going to take any shit from them this week. He's going to drop players. He's going to read them the right act. But Liverpool haven't been playing that well themselves, but I think they're good enough to beat United given the current situation. I think it's an away game as well. It's at Old Trafford, so I think a 2-1 win isn't anything to frown about, regardless who you are. So I'm going to go 2-1. Maybe not as obvious as what everyone else would go for.
I am, and this is where I'm going to get absolutely slated. I'm going for a 1-1 draw. Easy to say Liverpool are going to win. I get it. We've seen United play. So they've played. But Liverpool haven't played well. They haven't started well. And there's something to throw into this. This fixture is a hatred rivalry. You could be top and bottom and you're still going to get one of those really, feisty games. And can United play any worse than what they did against Brentford? They can't play any worse. They're going back to Old Trafford. I'm sure all the fans are going to get behind them. I get it. I get the fact that people are going to go 3-4-0 Liverpool. I get it. Brentford absolutely ruined Man United. But Liverpool haven't started the season well. I don't know where we're going to go with this, but I'm just going to go with a 1-1 draw. Yes, if Liverpool win 4-0, me, take the piss out of me, do what you want in the next video. It is what it is. But I've just got that sneaky feeling United are going to be playing much better and they're going to be more competitive. But again, it goes 4-0 Liverpool. It is what it is. But don't expect United to play as bad as they did against Brentford. No way.
Nunes is suspended as well, so they're going to have Bobby Firmino up front, who's not the player he was. So possibly that's a bit of a let-off for United as well. The chance not to get blown away.
Is Jota not back here? What's going on with Jota, Phil? Is he not back? I'm a massive fan of Jota. I just don't get why Klopp doesn't.
I saw him on the bench against us. He was watching, but I didn't have the sound because obviously we were playing pool at the time. But I saw the camera kept going to him while he was on the bench, like as if to say, like, why didn't they brought him on and stuff. Naby Keita was an unused sub as well on that one, but not too worried about him. So Mark Hill's gone 3-1 Liverpool. Fair enough. Here we go. Here's the prediction. Here it is. 6-0 Liverpool.
It's overreaction. It's an overreaction.
Following the narrative, isn't he? Following the narrative. Favourite backing at its best. Liverpool will win, but it depends if Man United show some guts and not let Liverpool violate the women and children this time. But Liverpool look laggy and sluggish. I'm still saying 3-0 Liverpool. I understand the prediction, Max, but I see Liverpool turning it up.
To be honest with you, mate, listen, at the end of the day, as I said, if it ends up being 4-5-0, then so be it. But I'm going to go back to, can Man United players worse? And you're playing in a Man United shirt, Phil. You're playing against Liverpool. Forget Man City about being your rivals. Liverpool, Man United, everyone knows that rivalry. If you can't get up for that game, leave the club. Simple as. Simple as. I can't see Liverpool battering them. I just can't see it. I just can't see it.
Do you think with United, though, it's like bad eggs, like rotten characters, or do you think it's actually they've got rid of all those characters and it's just confidence now?
Yeah, I think it's a massive confidence issue. I mean, listen, I'm not going to bash on the likes of like Harry Maguire and stuff. I like Harry Maguire, but they're getting crucified in the press. Arguably, that they've got players like Luke Shaw, he shouldn't be playing anymore. He's not good enough. Their centre midfielders are pants. Fred and McTominay probably wouldn't even get into Fulham's, Brentford's. I'm trying to think of worse teams down the bottom. I'm sure I'm not saying Fulham and Brentford are worse, but they're just pants. Where's the creativity? This Casemiro guy coming in, I don't know, you might improve it, but you're playing for Man United. It doesn't matter like what we think of the players or, what the fans think. You're playing for United, so surely you've got to be decent enough if managers keep playing you. Now, you're playing against Liverpool now. You can't go there going, oh, 3-1's going to be a good result if we lose. You're Man United, man. You're playing against your biggest rivals.
Do you think that signing's the answer for United, though? Because like bringing effectively like a holding centre mid-ish player in for that amount of money as well.
I would say, go on.
Whenever I've watched Real Madrid play, he just seems to be a banker for a yellow card. He's like a bit like Granit Xhaka. He's just a yellow. If Real Madrid were playing Arsenal, I'd just be all over those two to get sent off tackling each other because it's like all I see is him getting yellow cards. And you think, fair enough, you can be a defensive player. Does N'Golo Kante get loads of yellow cards? He doesn't. He just holds his position and does his job, doesn't he? He gets a yellow when he has to, but not every game.
I would honestly say, Phil, if you look here right now, would you have Casemiro over McTominay and Fred? I think the simple answer is yes.
Yeah,
so,
but it's the price you're paying for those. You could probably get a better player than McTominay and Fred for free from somewhere.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Do you know what? People are even saying, like, Gallagher Frost, they could probably get him for like 20, 30 mil. He's young, he could last him a few years. I would argue, say, a point of, we're bashing certain players. When are these players like Fernandes going to step up? Why is there no pressure on this guy? It was supposed he was going to be amazing when they signed him. All he does is score penalties.
I'll tell you what's happened to him. What's happened to him now? Because Ronaldo's come and taken over all the stuff he does. Yeah. He hasn't got any stats, any penalties to pad his stats with. He's got to find all these goals from open play now, which he doesn't. What's it about? 60% of his goals are from set pieces. So take that the first full year he had, February to February, or whatever it was. Yeah, it was good. It was probably scored 50% from the spot and 50% from open play, but he was still scored 15 goals from open play. Where's that Fernandes gone?
Where's he gone? Where's this great Sancho player, which I've never rated Sancho. Everyone was raving about, oh, Sancho's going United. I didn't see enough. He played at Dortmund. What's he brought to Man United? School Dinners has gone missing as well. He's gone missing. What's going on with Rashford? These sort of players, man.
That makes me laugh as well when he gets linked with Newcastle. Like if I was the Newcastle owners, I'm seeing how bad he's been for United and from where he was to where he is now, I wouldn't want a part of that. That's like I bang on about it all the time, but Dele Alli, I don't want anything to do with him, and he's just proved me right because he's going to end up going to Turkey now, isn't he? What's that all about?
That's embarrassing. PSG want Rashford.
Yeah.
PSG want Rashford. Rashford's play with him, Mbappe, Neymar, Messi. Really?
And just going back to the Ali bit for a second, people forget he was 2 years in a row Young Player of the Year, PFA Young Player of the Year, 2 years in a row when he first broke into that Tottenham team. And now he can't even get in an Everton team.
Phil, he dominated us. When he played for Spurs, Phil, he ruined us. He ruined us. He was that
And
sort of
isn't
player. He just come in, he would score. He was fantastic. And why has he declined?
isn't he only like 26 as well? So you just think to yourself, he should be in the peak years of his career here.
But I don't know what is going on. There's something clearly. There might be an injury, or there's got to be something behind the scenes. He's only been at Everton since January, hasn't it? Was it January transfer window?
Yeah, he went there. Last out of the
And
window.
all of a sudden he's going to be linked to go to Turkey. Come on, man.
Yeah, and again, just like with Rashford, I don't think if he goes anywhere else, I don't think he's gonna be the player that will lift the team. He could go into a ready-made team and just get a free ride, but I can't see him go. You want hungry players when you're buying these players for big money now, don't you? You don't want players that are just going to turn up and do the same as the players that are letting you down already.
No, 100%. I feel like you've heard the news that Pulisic is linked to go to Man United online.
Yeah,
I think that'll be
with
a good
Harry
pickup
Maguire for a swap. Yeah,
I think that'll be. Do you know what? We'll take it. I think Pulisic will bring something different to Man United. I really do.
Would you be happy with Harry Maguire though?
Oh, do you know what? Look, I get the criticism, but I don't mind Harry Maguire. I'm not his like biggest of fans. I'm not his biggest critic. I think he's all right. I just feel that he's a scapegoat in a team with a lot of failures. And unfortunately, the likes of, and I don't rate him at all, either he's come from you, Wan-Bissaka, he's pants, he's had to play with Luke Shaw on the left. He's sort of been exploited. And you've got David De Gea doing mistakes like that. It's going to make you look bad. And he's captain as well, so that's added pressure. So, arguably, if he wasn't captain, maybe the pressure would die off a little bit, Phil, but I just feel that he's been scapegoated for a lot of players that need to be called out, especially like Fernandes, Luke Shaw, McTominay, Fred. You know, you could pretty much say the whole team as well, but yeah, I think he's been scapegoated.
I think he signed a 5 or 6 year deal, Graham, just as the window opened. So obviously that's going to price him out of the market. Maguire will be okay in a free. But yeah, like the Maguire thing, do you think he just brought some of that on himself when he was getting the criticism and then he went over to the media box when he scored a header against like San Marino or someone like that, wasn't it? San Marino or Andorra, and he went there with his, did the Neil Mopai celebration like he's just scored the winning goal in a Champions League final or something. And you think, sometimes, I know about giving it back, but sometimes you just think, just if you're playing bad as well, dragging attention to yourself, that's the worst thing. Like, you like the darts, didn't you? When you see the players like, when they give it Larry Large after they do a checkout, it all goes to pieces because they've put more pressure on themselves for the next throw, then, don't they? When they try to go toe to toe with Gerwyn Price with the aggression, that's Gerwyn Price's game. That's not theirs. So maybe that's not who Harry Maguire is. He should have just been the Leicester version of Harry Maguire, kept his head down, concentrated on his football, not got involved in the media stuff.
Phil, I think it's like, again, we're not professional footballers, but how much can you take as a professional to keep getting literally abused by fans, abused by the press, criticised week in, week out? Would we react like that? I don't know. I'm not sitting here being Harry Maguire's like fan club and defending him and that, but they're human beings as well. And at some point, you can only push them so far, so they may react like that, or they may put their fingers up, or something like that, because they're human, and human instinct is to defend yourself. But yeah, as I said, listen, mate, Harry Maguire, he's not doing great. You know, it may be a bit of a change up. The swap with Pulisic might do him a world of good, might do Chelsea and Man United, both teams a world of good, but it remains to be seen if that's going to go ahead.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much bringing us to the end. So covered all the games. Anything else you want to add for the weekend?
I just want to know when Arsenal are going to have a difficult fixture, because I'm hearing a lot on YouTube now with Arsenal fans now claiming they're going to be challenging for the league title. So when have they got a tough game coming up? Have they got any of the top 10 coming up soon? Forget Leicester because they've lost all their players. Any big teams coming up?
Some knuckle dragger at my work, he was going on about, he went, oh, that Jesus, he's the best player. And I said, is he better than Henry then? Is he already better than Henry? No, he's not.
No chance.
I said, if he does it for 6 years, then you can say he's top notch. He was going, oh, he's going to give that Haaland a run for his money. And I was just thinking, you probably didn't even know who he was when he was just coming on, playing odd games. Because like some of these guys, they don't watch all the games. They just jump on the bandwagon when they win. And I know like most of the guys on here watch all the games, so know who all the players are. But that thing I sent you, like them saying, "Oh, where would you rate Saliba and Gabriel as a defensive partnership in Europe?" You think in Europe?
Yeah.
you can't even compare them in the Premier League yet. They played 2 games together and they've conceded 2 goals and scored an own goal.
No,
So that can't be anywhere in the top 20 in Europe if that's all you've done. Fair enough. At the end of the season, they might be in good nick, and you can start saying, "Oh yeah, fair enough, they're a good partnership." Yeah. But you can't take from, like, you've got Koulibaly and Silva at the back. You can't compare that in terms of experience and what they've done. Chance. So yeah, it's just typical taking the bait, getting excited. But they've got 6 winnable first games this season. So if they're on 18 points after 6 games, they're going to be in the conversation, aren't they?
Better go and get that bus ready for the trophy celebration parade around North London, because it's coming, isn't it? It's coming. Who knows? One thing I will say before I go though, Phil, we need to have a little, after I put mine your predictions, we need to have a little bit of a forfeit whoever loses. I think we need to come up with something. Maybe the chat or somebody can come up with something, or if somebody isn't watching this live, come up with maybe a little bit of a tiny forfeit. I'd like to see you bear on the results this week.
Put it in the chat at the end of the video when the video goes up, and we'll pick the best one.
I think so. I think that'd be decent. It could include peanut butter as well if it needs to be, but you know.
Yeah, it's only going to be Graham putting about 20 things in there anyway, like all fetish related as well.
That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Anyway, guys, it's still on there. Only a few people left. Thanks for watching. All please like and subscribe. Max, thanks for coming on, mate. We'll see you've got them right.
Cheers, mate.
Spurs Wolves are kicking off now. See if we've got anything from that one. But we'll catch up in the week. Do some prem predictions next week if we've got time. But thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.